I think the biggest challenge facing medicine today is the attrition of trust that I think has taken place over the past probably many years. It feels like more and more healthcare is kind of in the news and is being used a lot of times as a weapon, sometimes by both sides. And as a result, you have patients being skeptical of healthcare organizations and of doctors. You have doctors being skeptical of healthcare organizations because they feel like there's a lot of competing interests. You have healthcare organizations being skeptical of the government. You have doctors being skeptical of patients because of malpractice suits. Patients being skeptical of doctors because of everything they're reading on the news and on WebMD and on all the other websites. And as a result, what you have is everybody's a little guarded. And that's a huge issue and kind of heartbreaking when you think about what medicine is all about.
Also, from a physician standpoint, one of the major challenges on a personal level is dealing with physician burnout. It's a very real issue, and it's very important to remember to take time to take care of oneself, make sure that there's well-being.
The biggest challenge facing medicine today, I think, is the sheer volume of material that medical students need to learn. Science is always changing and advancing, as well as the pressures of the community. The practice of medicine has changed. It's much more electronic than it used to be, as well as the forces from legal areas, as well as the sheer volume of science and material that must be learned.
That it's just a very interesting place with very interesting, engaged people. And basically, practicing medicine, you never know who you're going to see in the office. You can see an ambassador, ambassador's wife, you can see people in the government who are important or at least think they're important. It's just a very interesting mix of people, and I love that.
So for anyone considering a career in medicine, be prepared that there are definitely long hours involved, a lot of emotional challenges. So the one piece of advice I'd have for someone considering a career in medicine is to love what you're doing, to really know that you're in it, invested in it, because without that, those long hours, those emotional challenges can potentially be insurmountable if one does not actually love what they're doing.
I'd give two. The first is eat whenever you can. My other one would be just always pause and remember why you did this in the first place. Because it's easy to forget, because med school's hard, clerkships are hard, internship is hard, residency is hard, being a junior attending is hard. Everything about training is hard. I think it's meant to be hard, but it's also amazing. I mean, everybody who is in medicine really wanted to be here. It's not easy to become, to be in healthcare. And so I think remembering what got you interested in this in the first place, how hard you worked to be here and how lucky you are to be in this position, I think is important.
That's the advice I'd give to someone starting medical school, and I do have nieces and nephews who are in medical school, so I give them advice all the time, whether they want it or not, is that I think that the thing about going to medical school now is that you have to go because you want to be a doctor more than anything, that you love the science of it and you love the people part of it, and that you have to be committed to working really hard for several years and then working really hard for several more years and then going out into practice.
So as one knows, there are long hours associated with the practice of medicine. One thing that I ensure that I do is to spend as much quality time as I have at home outside of the hospital, especially with a new 6-month-old. I definitely want to invest as much time and effort as I can to be involved in her growth and development, because I know as a physician as well that that's important. Not just for me, but for my family as well. And just having that sort of time, that sort of quality time is important for me as a person, as a physician, to ensure that well-being is there.
I decided to become a physician after understanding that I was interested in science. I was influenced by my parents, who were both in medicine, and relatives who were physicians, as well as enjoying helping people. It's a way to do something you enjoy, help people, and make a living.
But the thing is that it's a great career. So what I like to just tell them is not really give them advice, but just give them encouragement and tell them that I feel like it's been a great career for me, that I've loved what I've done. I've loved every minute of it, basically. Don't listen to the naysayers and don't listen to the old doctors that are getting all crotchety, but just remember that it is a great career.
So after I finished residency, my wife and I backpacked through New Zealand and Southeast Asia. So I took my urology boards in New Zealand. So I emailed the American Board of Urology and I asked, can I take my boards in New Zealand? And initially I got a clear no. And I emailed back and I said, why not? And they wrote back and they said, wait, maybe you can. So let's see, is there Pearson there? Turns out the Auckland Institute of Animation actually is allowed to administer these exams. So I went up to Auckland when we were in New Zealand and took my boards, where they've never administered them before. And when I clicked submit, I actually was positive that it didn't go through, but I'm board certified, so here I am.